Hey Max, when we spin up this video, if you have enough time, because I want it to come out next week, but I feel like we should have some fun with it. Can we look into what it would take to give Ryan McGinnis like a Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Award montage kind of thing?
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? My name is Ryan. Hey, everyone. I'm Ryan, and this week we're back with another week. We're back with our last episode of season 1 of This Week at Notarize. We're gonna be going through our favorite moments from season 1. I got married. I just got married. Woo! So, do you know I got food poisoning from Chipotle? See you guys soon.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Andrew, and I'm excited to welcome you to season 2 of This Week at Notarize. It's been over a year since the end of season 1, and absolutely nothing of consequence has happened in that time.
Nothing.
All right, so that might not be true. So everything's pretty much different, right? Our world is different. Notarize as a company is different. This host is different. Special shout out to Ryan McGinnis, who has since left the company, but obviously put us in a great position to be able to carry on the legacy of This Week at Notarize.
Love you, Ryan.
Love you, Ryan. That's why we're kicking off season 2 with kind of a state of the seal. It's important to look back at 2020, reflect on what we went through, and talk about how that positions us for 2021. So our first guest needs no introduction, but we'll have him give one anyways. It's Pat Kinsel.
Hello. And I'm really excited to have Max join us today. Max is the magic behind the curtain. I think one of the things that's so crazy is, we get a lot of shout outs for the materials that we put out. The Ron book, you've got Andrew, a lot of our video content Rewired. And I think folks would be amazed to learn that our full-time marketing team, up until very recently, was only 3 people. And we're doing conferences, we're writing books, we're putting out videos. It's just a remarkable team. Shout out to everyone, here and in the office, and Max has just been a huge addition to the team. I mean, the This Week videos we used to do, we thought we were done. Honestly, we thought season 1 was in the bag. We thought it was a good chapter in our company's history, but backed by popular demand, everyone's been asking for it. And Andrew, Andrew's the webinar king. You all might not realize that, but maybe you could talk a little bit, Andrew, about what you did last week.
Yeah, so there's this company called Adobe. We now partner with them. And they asked if we, Pat and myself, could come tag team a presentation on remote online notarization and what it means to everyone's lives nowadays, now that we're all remote, right? Conducting business online, doing things remotely. And it was a smashing success. So I'm really happy about that.
It was an understatement. We'll get into some of the details in a little bit, but you should go watch it. Andrew has just really did a phenomenal job. So, I think we want to give some highlights about things that have changed. So what's changed since the last time you saw us? So we announced back in April that we raised a new round of funding. Camber Creek, we're really excited to have their support. Amazing real estate venture firm with fantastic, LPs in the space. They've been hugely helpful. For folks out there that are trying to get into prop tech, I really recommend you reach out to them. We've grown like crazy. I think that it's no surprise. Notarize is an alternative to meeting in person, right? So a lot of new industries have adopted the platform, incredible growth on the platform. And really, I think COVID has been a reason for our partners to put in the work, right? So they may have been doing this a little bit, but not integrated into their systems or not rolled out across their whole organization. And partners of ours, shout out to Realogy, for example. They've just done incredible work this past year. They put out some numbers, I think, that were in Inman about growing 4x. They're just continuing to be on a tear, and people have just done the work to figure this out. So we right now, not shared previously, we're on a pace to do $100 billion of real estate on the platform over the next 12 months. And that's without us even growing. And so we are continuing to grow like crazy. And so I think in real estate, the era of the digital closing and Ron is, we used to talk about what needed to change. And now what we're dealing with internally is what we need to do in order to support that. And I'd say with all that, we've opened new markets. So we were sort of small business and real estate pre-COVID. Now we have a bunch of amazing new partners. So maybe, Andrew, you could talk about some of the partners at Rewired, that we were able to share and what their take is.
Yeah, for sure. So Adobe, big one, right? They are a massive company with a pretty wide reach, who we're looking for a RON solution. We also have JD Power, which we announced as a partner last year to dive into the auto space and do more about kind of the back end of the online car sales cycle. You got the dot loops of the world, the simple nexuses of the world. Really, I think when we did Rewired for the first time down in Miami, it was really focused on real estate, right? How do we move this really manual but super, super important transaction into the digital space? And I think even in just the year's time that it went from, November of 2019 to November of 2020, the number of verticals who are looking at us and the online notarization solution as an opportunity to digitize their processes has grown exponentially. So Pat, you hit on it, real estate, auto, education, financial services, really anyone who has a need because of the circumstances that we're in with COVID has started looking for ways to move those things online. And I think we're happy, proud, lucky to be one of those solutions.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've signed a bunch of customers we can't share yet, but another one is TIAA at Rewired. They shared the story about how middle of COVID crisis, people unable to access their retirement funds, and we were able to get them up and running in 4 weeks, right? And we just have had a lot of partners like this who were able to, help them, keep transactions flowing, and now are really continuing to scale. What we're talking about here is more volume, right? And it may be no surprise we got crushed, back in April. We just simply didn't have enough notaries on the platform in order to fulfill the transactions that people sent us. And, it was a brutal time for ourselves, a brutal time for our partners. And we really rethought the business. And so I'm really proud this year that we opened the platform. So now, of course, we allow our partners to onboard their own notaries. We allow notaries to serve their own transactions as well. And it's really a marketplace, right? So a notary can now sign up, serve their own book of business, opt in to work with the businesses on our platform. A business can sign up, use their own people. And a lot of our customers know this, but for those who don't, it's totally configurable, right? And there was so much work and thought that went into this year. Shout out to everyone in engineering and customer support and on the front lines. I mean, total whole cloth reimagining of how we serve the market. So customers can now sign up, use their own people, but decide at night to work with us. Or if they are too busy, to overflow to us, and have different teams in different regions across the country. And it's just become such a sophisticated platform that really, what we tell customers now is, great, you're in a new vertical that we haven't served before. How do you want to serve the market, right? How do you want to have, the steps in the transaction, the ID verification process, who's going to fulfill when, where, what? And I think for that reason, we're also seeing huge growth because, at least in terms of our platform, the barriers now we've eliminated, right? We can really serve anyone that we want to work with. And that's also really precipitated a change in our strategy, right? So with that, we really want to partner. You talked about, Adobe and Dotloop and others. We've got a long list of amazing partners behind them, but we really want to give every company RON, right? And I think our realization, and, I'll ask your 2 cents on this, is that we can't know everything about every vertical, right? There's other companies that are on the front lines of transforming, be it auto, whatever their sector is. And if we can really give them our platform in an amazing consumable way that they can snap into that process, they can help us, digitize these new industries and processes. And I just think, I thought we'd be there in 2025, right? I didn't think we'd get it all done in a year.
Yeah, I think to your point, Pat, we are not subject matter experts in powers of attorney or, any type of court documents or financial documents. We're subject matter experts in the notarization process. And so, we don't want to claim to own space that we have no business being in. And I think part of that feeds into this myth that we've talked about for forever, but it's the idea that remote online notarization is here to replace the notary. That by automating anything or bringing technology into anything, we are somehow taking that away from people. And for a lot of people, that's their livelihood. And I think it's important to stress that that's not the goal of what we do or what remote online notarization is built to do. It is still a notarization process, and the human element is really an important part of that. But to bring it back to opening the platform and allowing people to serve their own transactions on our platform, I think that's what people were afraid of losing, was
100%.
this interaction that they've had leading up, right? So like real estate, it's from the mortgage application process through the handing of the keys, that ceremonial moment where like people are finally done with the journey and they have the house of their dreams. That is such an important part of not only the business but the customer experience, that was the thing that was hard to let go. And so once we're able to kind of strip away the myth of that Notarize or anyone else in this space is trying to replace that function, it's taken off in spades. When you look at, so can't divulge all the state secrets, right? But I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to say that how we ended 2020 was not how we thought we were going to end 2020, right? I think January 1st, we had a different vision for how it was going to play out. As we look ahead to 2021 and the things that we have lined up internally, many of them we will announce externally when the time is right. When you get to the end of 2021, do you have anything that you want to hang your hat on, or anything that you think that by the end of the year, other people outside of our walls might appreciate about what we're doing?
Well, I'll give you two responses. I think we're still in a phase of geometric growth, and it's because of the partners and the customers, that we're winning and integrating with and whatnot, and just this sea change, right, across platforms with hundreds or thousands of customers now can offer this. I mean, Adobe is going to be putting Ron in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of enterprise customers, right, and millions of consumers, right. So I just think the sea change and the growth is just going to continue exponentially. I have data that suggests that, right. But separately, us as a company, right, we want to be the innovators, right. We take pride in being first. We take pride in opening new markets. It's regulatory work, it's policy work, it's product work, it's legal work, it's operational work. First online mortgage, first online will, first in the auto space. And so I'm excited to bring some new products to market, and I think for people to really realize that we're doing much more than they might have appreciated, right? And really focused on, transforming, how people are validated on the internet, how transactions can be trusted, on the internet and in commerce. And, we want to stay ahead.
I think one of the things that we want to do as part of This Week at Notarize is stick true to the name, right? So like This Week at Notarize, what is happening within our walls? So we are bringing back Rewired. And not only are we bringing it back, we are breaking it up into 4 separate conferences. So we will still have our flagship event in November. When we are able to go outside and cross the country and see all of you, that means that we'll have a place to host you all and connect. But in the meantime, we will move to have quarterly verticals that can show you what we're working on and the vision we have for both the business and the industries that we serve moving forward.
Yeah, I think, the last Rewired in November, I think we nailed it. Honestly, I think it was I think it was the content was just so great. But we did branch out for more than real estate. And I think what we're hearing is people want to talk more about their industries. And so really excited to break this up and to have more topical focus and for us as a company to stay on the front end. We really want to help these industries go digital and create communities in all of them. So I'm thrilled about it. I think Rewired is one of the best things we've got going as a company. And shout out to Courtney for all of her amazing work there.
Yeah. Shout out to Court, who worked some very long hours to make Rewired 2020 happen. Max did as well. Max did all the video that you see. I think we had something like 60 signers and 30 unique remotely recorded sessions that had to be recorded and stitched together and, put through post-production exercises. So
the whole thing we planned and executed in 41 days, I think. So
yeah, it was really remarkable. But to Pat's point, I think shows what we can do when we put our heads down and work towards a common goal.
Andrew, I wish you the best of luck. with the show. You do have big shoes to fill, but you are the webinar king. You know, we heard that it was one of the most highly attended, highly rated webinars in Adobe's history. So that's all props to you. And the show is in good hands. So I'll be here when you need me, but I'm really excited for you to get some of our customers and partners on here and this week at Notarize.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited to share more with, you know, the broader community about what we're doing here and what we have lined up. And we've brought in a lot of great talent over the last calendar year that, you know, can't wait to get them on and hear what they're seeing and what they're doing to position us to succeed. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.